Hello, hello. Where are you joining from? Let me know. I think everything should be working fine. I'm going to wait for the 7 o'clock to strike so I can start with the actual presentation. I can see someone in the chat. Say hi. Let me know if you can hear me well. I can see the poll on who is actually going to watch the stream, and it says like 67% of you are career switchers and 33% of under other, and that might be not being designers or just curious about the design careers and the situation in the industry. So I'm curious to see by the end of the actual stream if these numbers will change. But yes, I think we have 1 more minute before we start. I heard from lots of people who actually asked me about tips in terms of UX UI career, and they were like, "Oh, can you tell me what to do and how to start and all that?" And I was like, this needs to be done, and that's why I decided, instead of having multiple coffee chats that were never scheduled, to make a live stream Q&A with the general presentation of what I would do if I was starting career in 2025, and then in the end give advice of the live stream and share my opinion or maybe help you figure out certain situation. But everyone's career path is different and your goals are different than anybody else, so it is a tricky question to be answered with a list bullet point list with a certain advice. But nonetheless, I put together 12 steps, so let's see if you will find any of these steps useful. And if you do, let me know later in the comment section or in DMs, wherever you find me, which one was the most useful tip for you. And if you have a favorite, you can leave it here in the chat. I can see when I turn to my left who is in the chat. So make sure you leave a comment if you agree or disagree with something or you want to add something. I will be quick. There will not be too much rambling, I promise. And without further ado, let's start. So, if I was starting my career in 2025, the first thing I would schedule, even though when you start thinking about career in UX UI, you have already read and experienced a little bit of the industry and the community around it, and you have an idea of what chaos it is. But what I would first do is cry a little bit, because that's a really necessary step, especially now with the whole AI job market situation, interviews, and layoffs, and all that. I think if you take this frustration out of your system early on in the beginning, it will be very beneficial for you to shake all the negativity and uncertainty that you might carry with this decision right in the beginning. So whatever heavy feelings you have, just cry them out, go for a walk, go for a run, just let it all out, and then start planning, which is comes from your decision. Now you have to make a decision. Do you want to pursue a career in UX UI as a designer in terms of freelancing, or do you want to find a job in an agency or a company? Based on that decision, this timeline in the bottom, it will look different, and the steps you're going to apply to this plan will be different. So here in the further steps, I will also mention how you can achieve that specific goal, but you have to first make a decision on the topic of which actually format of the UX UI career are you looking forward to, because that is quite important in order to know what you have to learn. Like when you start freelancing, you need to target a different market. You need to learn lots about business, create some system processes, client work. You have to present more, you have to negotiate more, you have to establish your boundaries. You have to do all that when you're in a company as well, but you can be a little bit more passive once you get the job. But before that, everything is on you when you're freelancing. And when you do the interviews, that's also on you. No, but once you get into the company, it's completely different story, because you have like company politics, yada yada. So that's what is important here, to decide which career path you want to take. Is it going to be on your own, or are you going to join an agency or actual company? And then, while you're planning this and creating the timeline, I would suggest you make sure to list your goals, like maybe your top 3 goals. Like, what are you trying to achieve with this career? Are you trying to hit certain number? Are you trying to achieve certain prestige? Are you trying to get some qualification that you really can do and get via a proxy, either experience or agency? What are you trying to do with this career switch? Are you trying to just work remotely and be digital nomad, or what is the motivation behind it and the goal? And then, how does success look to you and for you when it comes to accomplishing that? Is it getting the job at a prestige company and or agency, or is it having 3 consistent clients and making, I don't know, 5,000 per month? What does it look to you? How do you define your success? And once you do that, you also have to make sure to note your wins and every single milestone that you accomplish and complete, because based on that, you will actually see that you have done progress, and you will see that you have moved forward. And then, on the step 3, we are going to talk about, my advice would be, if I was starting 2025, is to ensure a financial stability in this economy. Especially, I would say it's quite mm, idealistic to say to save money for groceries and bills for 3 months, but you can try, or you can keep your current secure job and just put money aside for when you are going to be in between jobs or looking for a job, or maybe you want to explore freelancing for 3 months, and then go back to your previous job, or start something on your own that is not design UX related. And as I mentioned here, I would suggest to ease into it and not jump immediately, because it might happen so that you saw a video and it was very nice and very exciting and intriguing when you saw all that being marketed to you, I don't know, uh, last year or 2 years ago. But then, when you ended up in the trenches trying to find a job, or go to the interviews and being asked ridiculous questions, or being not being paid for a specific task, or meeting only with bullshit clients, it just gets a little bit to you, and it's like, this is not what I expected, and I didn't sign up for this. And you might feel like you have wasted, I don't know, 1 or 2 years of finding the ideal job, but that doesn't exist and it's not for you. So I would say you have a backup plan in terms of finances, and then start getting into it. And when it comes to starting UX UI and your career switcher, like the 50% on the poll, and you don't know anything about design, or you're not like certified or have any background in terms of education, you have to educate yourself and be self-taught, which is nothing to be worried about. The worrisome part comes with the energy that you're going to invest in this learning process, and how you're going to approach this learning, and how much time are you going to dedicate to this learning. Are you going to get into the spiral of learning and learning and learning, and not applying anything of this knowledge to actual projects? So here, my advice would be to fight the imposter syndrome by applying every single thing that you learn. And by saying everything single thing that you learn, I don't mean every single tutorial or every single reel that you see online. I'm talking about every single thing that you learn and that you see that it can solve a problem by implementing design methodologies or kind of frameworks or anything like that. Use that and apply it to your kind of project. Like, it can be a passion project, it can be a freelance project, or it can be something on the side. Whatever it is, try to practice it in order to learn it. Like, for example, that could be like mini usability study for something that you want to just practice making, also surveys or questionnaires. Anything related to the field, try to practice it and get a hang of it early on. And I would suggest for you to unplug from all the influencers and stop watching YouTube videos and tutorials. Ironically, this is also a YouTube video. It will be a YouTube video, but it's a live stream, and I want to make it as interactive as possible because I don't think that the storytelling and the editing of a video can bring that much value than actual content. If the content and the advice is good, you don't need all that flashy things happening in the background and entertaining the user. But that's my opinion. And when here on the side, as you can see, I have listed a couple of ways you can educate yourself by practice. And in terms of that, you can choose to take a course, online course. You can try Coursera or any other platform that provides UX UI courses, where you can just have a taste of the industry and the methodologies used during the design process, learn more about the terminology, the psychology behind it, the research importance, and all that, and maybe gain a certificate and maybe see if this is for you and if it's useful for your goals, right? Based on your goals, you will also decide, should you take these courses, or are you going to skip them? Are you going to sign up for a boot camp, which lately I haven't heard anybody finishing boot camps because they ended up being overrated. And yeah, you have to decide for yourself, or maybe with your mentor that you I'm going to mention later, what will be the best step for you to take next, based also on your experience and background, and what you enjoy, what are you good at, what your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and so on. But I would take the Google UX course again because I completed information technologies and informatics and mobile and web technologies as masters, and I knew the background. It was business and design, but not web design, more web design than mobile development. So that aspect of the Google UX course was quite useful, and also the different steps within design process were very well explained. So my only advice to myself would be to pick a better problem statement, something that really needs solving and something that really needs making all these sketches, wireframes, and processes for. Not something like, I don't know, trivial. Rather, find something that really can make your portfolio stand out and you will enjoy doing. So I will put much more thought into picking that problem statement in the beginning and focus on solving a real problem. You can do that also by educating yourself. You can do that by signing up for a internship. And today I also read or somewhere that you can also do pro bono projects or volunteering work, and also make sure to put a good how to say timeline and restraints of your time and how much effort can you dedicate to that project if it's pro bono or volunteer work. And based on that, you can also gain lots of experience and knowledge, and as I said, practice all that you have read, learned, and seen online or offline, and maybe even check if certain companies are requiring students or career switchers for internships with or without a design background. I hope everything is visible. Yes, it is. Um, then, when you read and apply all this knowledge, if you choose freelancing, as I would again, definitely, I would read this book first before anything else, and I will try to implement one of the methodologies that I have read about early on without overthinking it and without even finishing the book. I would even scan the content, the table of content. I will pick what I need and I would just apply it and then go back to it and finish the book. I would do it that way rather than completing the full book and then wondering, like, what can I use at this point? But for me, it happened so that while I was reading it, I had a project that was about entertainment app, and it was a startup, and we were like looking for MVP and proving a concept. And I was like, okay, what would be the next logical thing to do for me to propose to my client? And I saw the dirty quick usability testing, quick and dirty usability testing, where I just have to gather a couple of participants that are can be from my own circles or can be already user based, and then based on that we did like a quick and easy, like 5 to 10 minutes interviews with each individual, and I asked specific questions in order to get more information if we are in the right direction or not. I need to go back to this book. Yes, Ashley, you have to, and I have to also download it again or open it on my iPad, because there's so many good advices there and practices that we can use in our daily projects and lives. And any book in for that matter, if you have a digital or physical copy, I would suggest you keep them close and go back to them and use them as your source for inspiration. Now this is the most controversial part of the the whole presentation, and I think everybody would agree, but I also want to see what is your opinion on portfolios in the Q&A section afterwards, or even now you can leave a comment and after I finish I can glance. So one thing you should know if you're a junior designer, but if you're not, you already know that. And if you're a career switcher, you will find out very soon. Your portfolio or your own website, if you decide to make a website, will never be done. And what I mean by that is that not a single website wants, not a single working and, how to say, profitable website is never done. So it's just a version of it, and you need to update it regularly, and you need to adjust it based on your quarterly, maybe every quarter, like maybe every 3 months, maybe 6 months, maybe once a year. You have to adjust your portfolio to match your goals and vision for your career. Even if you're working in a company as a designer, I highly recommend you sit and make one Sunday or Saturday for yourself and go dust all the projects that you have worked on. And while you still have some kind of recollection and memory, put a couple of projects together. 3, it would be the best. And in very good workshop that I attended from Sarah Judy was that I should look at my portfolio as a MVP. So minimum valuable portfolio. That would be what I would look for my portfolio, dissect it in certain sections, and then work on each section separately, and also make sure that I include the storytelling part, and the layout is completely different topic for now. So back to the points, I will say aim for 3 projects, start with freelancing, or maybe approach your close network, like maybe you have family or friends or people who have businesses that you can give a shoulder to, and maybe practice your brainstorming skills or research skills or graphic design skills as a start, and then propose some kind of interface changes. Or you can also go on the online platforms and search for projects there. And as I said, make sure that you start building your portfolio while you are still learning, so you can freshly adjust all this knowledge into a practice. By documenting everything, I mean create maybe a Notion database or Google Docs or whatever works for you, and start writing down your experiences with the clients and your thought process, or maybe start building the systems that you might use later on in your freelance work or your agency work. Like that could be emails, that could be research, that could be any kind of repetitive thing that you would do every time you start a project. And if you don't have an idea what that might be, ask someone who is already doing it. Go for coffee chats with other people who are doing the thing, and ask them. They will be more than happy and glad to share that information with you. Everybody has a different process, from the freelancers to those who work in a company, so you can just ask. Observe, yes. This will be your time while you create the portfolio to test the waters and see for yourself in terms of what you enjoy the most. And since when you start as a career switcher or junior designer, you would be a generalist and you will try to learn everything and apply everything and be like, okay, but the whole design process has like, I don't know, 12 steps. How can I apply all of them? You don't have to. Every single project will require different resources, so you can adjust. And if you're in a team, you will probably have a different role in each team, and you can see for yourself when you do the internships or maybe the freelance work, which part do you enjoy more. Is it the strategy, figuring out what the service is about, what the business is about? Is it the discovery, maybe how to solve this certain problem that the business is having or the users are having? Which part do you enjoy more? And then dig deeper and specialize in terms of um, focus and dedicate more time for that specific thing. If it's strategy, then read more on strategy. If it's more about discovery, explore different ways how you can solve a problem in terms of ideation, and think about solutions, how you can enhance that process for yourself. And then after you do all these three things, you have to decide what you should focus on for the next 3 months, 3 or 6 months, and then based on that, tailor your portfolio. So if I want to work as a freelancer, I would most likely create those three projects to be speaking and tailoring for I don't know, founders, startup owners, CEOs, or maybe let's say solopreneurs that are doing some kind of community work. And based on that, I will present similar projects or projects who are highlighting my skills in that area. So based on what you want to be seen as and perceived as, you will adjust your portfolio and tailor it to that audience. If you are trying to book very high level interviews, then you'll have to see your competitors and what they're doing and adjust your portfolio in a way that not copy doesn't copy the competition, but it's actually ranking with them, and you can see what actually works and what it doesn't. But for me, I think the most important part will be for you to solve a real problem in your portfolio or your case studies, tell a story, and show a bit of your personality, and in a way that people when start reading your case study will never want to let it go. So if you make it a like pleasant experience and you make it as a product, I am sure everybody will stay until 50% within the scrolling page and read the rest of your case study. And of course, based on that portfolio, you will figure out what kind of clients you want to attract. And when you talk about your project, that's like a different topic. We can talk about it privately on a coffee chats or consultations, but each case study have to have specific points and also talk to specific kind of client. So based on what clients are you trying to target, that's how your stories in your case studies will be told. Now, we talked about saving money in the beginning, but let's say if you're really struggling with money and in the end you decide like, okay, maybe 6 months looking for a job is was enough and I cannot get into an agency or a company, maybe it's time to open my own business. And I would suggest you start researching locally based on your location in your country, where, or even maybe within Europe or United States, if you can maybe relocate and benefit from certain programs around your area. And you can sign up for let's say governmental or how we have here EU projects. And for first timers who are just starting and opening their first business, you can get like quite the amount for your business with certain, of course, contract and clauses that you have to follow for certain amount of time. For example, mine was in 2 years to make a certain amount of profit, and then after that I had to buy with the half of the money certain equipment, and the other one was, what is it? Oh, all my contributions and taxes to be paid fully and not to be missed. So there are certain clauses that you have to meet in order to get that financial help, or later on prove that you have met those requirements. But if you're serious about your business, I highly, highly recommend you do it. And I know you would do a good job as long as you know that this is the thing for you and you're committed. And if you still need some cash but you don't want to involve the government or in kind of projects, you can still compete in maybe hackathons and test those collaboration skills of yours and see, um, am I good fit for working in a team, or should I really consider being solo completely? And if I'm solo, can I just make money from UX UI design, or do I have to maybe expand my service, or what makes my service so unique? There's 100 million designers out there. Why I'm so special, right? You have to figure that out yourself and bring out your personal experiences, your knowledge, and your strengths in order to stand out. And you can do that through the hackathon or maybe some kind of competition. And also, I would suggest in here, even if you don't apply for this financial help, to create a business plan. I know it sounds tedious. I know it's like, oh my God, but I'm not in school. I don't want to do this. I had the same resistance. But for me, the financial business plan, not the financial, but just the business plan, although it had a financial aspect of it because of the grant, but the whole business plan for me was very useful to sit down and take my business seriously, because I was like, I will try it maybe for these 2 years and then I will see. But then when I started writing down my idea and think about the target audience, which is the government officials, which will be like, they don't have idea what UX UI design is, and I have to write and convince them that I'm unique business owner that has a chance and that I will last 2 years and I will make all these requirements fulfilled and blah 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 blah. So when you start with this mindset, like someone is going to review your business plan and be like, okay, this business actually is legit and will last, then this is when you know that you have taken your business and freelancing or entrepreneurship seriously. Then, number 8, I also want to see what Ashley will say about that, and anybody else in the chat that is currently with us. When you ask for help, as I mentioned earlier, make sure that you are considerate with of other people's time, energy, and commitments. And when you ask for a coffee chat or maybe just hang out virtual or in real life, um, make sure you don't ghost those people after you get what you needed, or you didn't get what you needed, but you feel like, you can just disappear. That's not a nice experience, and you never know if you kept that relationship or just like acquaintance, what you might get in the future in 6 months or 1 year or anything like that. So if you find a mentor online, in my face or anybody's face, or accountability buddy, make sure you don't ghost them and leave a note like, hey, I changed my mind, I don't have the time, I don't have the finances, I don't have the energy, I'm not doing this right now. Totally fine. And I think that would be so much better than just disappearing and leaving someone on the other side hanging and questioning what went wrong. Did you change your mind? Did you got that job? Did you actually apply for that project? And what happens with you? And also, ultimately, you just disappear from their network and their list of people that they might recommend for future projects. So have that in mind. And again, before you go on that coffee chat, I also had one in my earlier career beginning, whatever, in 2022. And I wrote all my questions, but I didn't get the answers because the mentor that I asked was working in a company and didn't know anything about freelancing. So I would advise you choose a mentor and accountability buddy with a background in what you want to achieve. So strategically pick the people that you want to ask questions to and make sure you prepare your questions so you don't waste anybody's time. And yes. When you're planning with a friend, you can easily spot good and bad patterns, like when you're wasting the most time, when are you going back in circles, or when you are repeating the same mistakes, and when you're lacking certain qualities in terms of presentation, negotiations, or maybe positioning. Love having accountability buddy as a procrastinator at heart. Yes, I think we all do, and I really like that as well, because once you have someone on the other side to check on you, it's a completely different story, and I have found it very useful in terms of passion projects as well. Currently, I'm building a Webflow template, and I wouldn't be publishing it anytime soon in this year if it wasn't for my accountability. Shout shout out to Beba, because we meet every Tuesday and Thursday and build together for 1 hour and a half, and we actually make progress, because if it was by myself I would be still stuck on picking images and fonts. Also, having a long term mentor, but everyone has to figure out what type of mentor mentee relationship they want. Yes, that is very, very crucial. Thank you, Ashley, for mentioning that. Make sure you journal and ask yourself, what kind of mentor do I want? What kind of questions would I like to ask them? What kind of answers I'm expecting? What kind of experience do I want to have with this person? And how can I contribute to that experience? I think that's also quite important. And if I started in 2025 in UX UI, I would start networking not only on business events, but on all kind of events, and ask around and present myself as a designer or aspiring designer, and be involved, like be interested, share some knowledge, maybe some tips, maybe suggest some help, or provide some kind of information to someone that might find useful. Just try to build relationships and create a support system around yourself, your friend group, when it comes to UX UI design. As I said, it can be also online, it can be offline, it can be any way it works for you. But I would suggest you focus early on building long lasting relationships, right? Not bombarding LinkedIn professionals on with I don't know, template messages like oh, I saw your profile, you have so much experience in UX, can you give me some tips? No. Try to build a genuine connection and interact with their content, or really make sure to know them first before you go on a coffee chat, and just be mindful of your time, and do it with intention. That's what I wanted to say. And if possible, and if these people for when it comes to networking are open to collaborations, start collaborating, start creating and build stuff together, because that will help all people in the process build the portfolio project, character, process, or some kind of template that you can use later on. We're almost done, I promise. We have here number 10, which is building a personal brand. And I think it is a must have nowadays, because much larger population in within the how to say remote work is also some kind of content creator or influencer, or has multiple kind of social media channels. And really the ones that are having stronger offline relationships or online relationships are those that are getting the jobs and are getting booked. And I think personal brand is quite important also for your creativity and your development as a storyteller. And if I was starting in 2025, I would advise myself to focus first on one medium. For example, I will say for myself, I want to master blogging on a certain level from January to March. And after I achieve that goal, and if I see if I check the progress and it's there, I can either decide to continue with the blogging if I really like it, or switch to video content creation, long form. Then study the platform on a deeper level, and then after, I don't know, 6 months, I can give it a rest or a pause and then focus on short form content, and so on and so on. What I did was I picked up all of the mediums at once, and I was doing a little bit of each and was present on all mediums. And I still am. As you can see, I'm trying to do once a week a YouTube tutorial or a live stream, and then I do twice or every 2 weeks Monday story, because it's Monday story because it was every week, but now it's like every 2 weeks. Then I toned it down to every 2 weeks, and I created a newsletter which is called Curious Gang. And if you're part of the gang, hi. And you can also subscribe, and everything it will be in the description in terms of links. So you can just decide what you want to tackle first. If it's email list, that's great. I think that would be the best form of private building of a story, around your brand, sharing some more personal information, maybe providing some kind of tips, like figuring out your writing style before you're ready to share it with the whole world. And then after you reach certain amount of subscribers, or you are kind of pleased with the content, or you can see some kind of interactions, you can move into blogging, vlogging, tutorials, or anything else. What I wanted to say is focus on what excites you and works for you. Whatever you cannot stop think about, just start with that one. Okay, focus on that one and give all of your energy and create it in the moment when you feel like it, because after that it's gone and it goes into the circle of procrastination, and you will never do it. And while you are figuring out your brand, I will also suggest to check out this book, Still Like an Artist, and challenge your perception in terms of building content, having original ideas, being perfect, or your content being perfect. And when it comes to that, you will figure out what works for you and what it doesn't, and make sure you don't burn out when you work for yourself and your personal brand, and do it with the mind of, this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. Okay, so whatever the platforms and the algorithm says, don't listen to them, just do whatever feels right for you in that moment, and build some sustainable habits around that. Take care. That's probably one of the most important steps that I can suggest for myself, and then for everybody else that are going on this journey. Please make sure you don't burn out, and it seems so like fascinating how we end up like in a burnout, but it's quite easy, right? When I mentioned with the all the information overload, the community, the pressure of finding a job, the financial pressure, the societal pressure, all that pressure can build up into you not taking enough breaks, not going outside, not talking to your relatives or friends, and not spending time just relaxing and unwinding and turning off your brain. Because as much as this is a creative work, you cannot be creative if you don't have space for creativity, right? So you have to make sure that you try different things, you take time for yourself, you maybe do and schedule some kind of digital detoxes, maybe attend some kind of workshops that are not related to design, and meet different types of people. Make time for your hobbies, and even learn to do nothing, like to be completely at peace, plugged off from anything, no music, no anything, just like maybe try to even meditate and take time for yourself. And I have a really important point here is work on priorities only. So if you are going to freelance, my best advice is to have like a planner, like a physical or digital planner, and schedule your next 24 hours ahead. And that's it. If you have a meeting, put it in there, put it in the calendar, but don't build to-do lists with, I don't know, 3 4 days in advance. That will be too much and it will not work. And in the to-do list, make sure you put really priorities only, and everything else that you can do, you can add it later and it's not essential for that day. I think this is the last step, which is adapt and have fun. Like, truly, if you cried in the beginning of the presentation and you let everything out, you'll really have only space for being hopeful, being energized, and being excited to start your next project or your next collaboration, or to face the next challenge that it might be an interview or anything in the same sense. And I think we are here. Thank you, everyone. And I think it's time for the questions and discussions. Um, let's see. Also, having a long term relationship. I read that one. Networking was my worst enemy. Now it's my favorite part. The communities out here are pretty amazing, and so are the people I have met. Right? That's like one of the best parts when it comes to um, networking. And maybe I can stop the sharing now and put my whole face here so I can see you. And let's see, do you have any kind of stories or questions related to the design careers? For example, I have a story until the stream gets to the live catch up. I have a story of really interesting interview practice for one of my how do I call them? I tutored her, but I also help her with design and her portfolio. So she had an interview. I think was it yesterday or today, where it was live test assignment. So it was supposed, you don't get it for, I don't know, 2 weeks or 1 week to do it at home. You rather do it during the call. And it was to, of course, talk about yourself, talk about your previous experience, and the next portion of it to pick a app on your phone and critique it, and then present the way you think about the app, what you can suggest to be an improvement or whatnot. And then the last part of the whole test was to have a prompt of a challenge and brainstorm together with the design lead what will be the solution and how she would ideate and create a user flow and a wireframe. So I think that's quite unique and nerve wracking, and actually, depending on the position that you are applying for, can be either a great possibility for you to showcase your work, or might be actually the one that it brings you down. And I think I would prefer that rather than sending still designs just in Figma and annotations or flows or anything like that. I would actually prefer that kind of interactive kind of test. What do you guys think? What kind of experience do you have with the job market at the moment, or the freelancing world? What is your take on it? Let me refresh this part. I think we have 40% at the moment. Oh, 20 junior designers, 40 career switchers, and 40 other. That's nice. That's nice. What else did we see? Also, I have reviewed a couple of portfolios so far, and I understand why people are not hiring because the portfolios are not good, right? They're not solving real problems, or at least if they are, they don't show it in a, how to say, presentable, easy to understand and grasp way. I think Aneta has a really good course on how to build the perfect portfolio, so I highly recommend you check it out. Not that I have taken the course, but because I know how much work she put into it, and I know how deep she goes into that. And she really created, I believe, a good product for every single designer out there that wants to have like a solid portfolio. I wish I have gotten to the point to address that question. Why, Ashley? What's happening? Where are you in your journey right now? Are you taking a break, or are you still preparing to apply? A part of the issue is that now there is a potential for me to be applying for ghost jobs, so I had to take a burnout break. Oh no. Okay, I see. I see where you are. The taking care part, that's why you were so helpful during the TikTok live, because once we got to that part, you had lots of suggestions. I see, I see. But remember, everything happens for a reason, and might be the best time for you to take a break and focus on yourself, and maybe reevaluate and maybe change your plan. I would say that I like being asked about my design process and thoughts, right? Even if you don't know the person in front of you, the interviewer, and even if you're nervous, at least they can feel and see how passionate you are about the design, and how how you think, right? Even if it's not your 100% way of thinking, it's just a better representation rather than just sending a design. And the design can be faked, the design can be copied, the design can be generated, but the presentation portion of it, I think, for me would be more important. And the way the designers tell the story behind their solutions. So I agree, I definitely agree. I think one of the career switchers that I have in my DMs also told me, can you give me can we have a coffee chat, but I would like, to just give me some tips. And I'm like, what kind of tips? Like, in design, it depends. It depends what you want, what are your goals, what you want to achieve. Like, it depends on so many things. The tips, like, I can give you generic tips. I don't have to give you. They're all out there. Like, all the videos and articles are out there. All the generic information is out there. But for your certain situations, you need a plan. You need a specific guidance. I was starting back now with wanting to do hybrid design for freelance and research for day job because it takes a lot of resources to create and modify a plan. Hmm. I see what you mean. And if that is feasible for you, maybe this time around, now you know how much easy or hard it will be for you and you can do it. Maybe you can give it a go. And which one do you enjoy more, the freelancing or the research part of it all? Where do you see yourself thriving and enjoying the most? Starting as a designer back in 2023, I did not realize how broad that question was, right? No code design advice down to the tools. Yes, 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 definitely. Researcher. I went to school for sociology. I think, yes, I think if you know already, that is so good because at least you have a clear idea and direction of what you want to do, and I think that's admirable because most of people who end up in UX UI, they come for the wrong reasons. One of them is wanting just a remote job, or maybe having some kind of industrial or interior design background and thinking, that's close enough or it's similar, and it's not quite there. So yeah, being a researcher and caring about the users or the data, even if you don't care the users, you can care about the data and the fact that with that data you can provide, backed up information of why certain design decision will work or will not work and will bring profit to the company or not. So I think that's a great starting point. That's a great starting point. Now you just have to see locally and globally how that will work for you, and where you can find opportunities for yourself. Would you like to freelance, or maybe do a little bit of you know gigs and then work for a company? Other roles, I want a minimum of 2 years experience for associates, so doing a little design and some broad research on design can give me that little bit of time. Yes, yes, I think it will happen. And as I said, maybe you should look for non-profit or volunteer projects where they are looking for researchers, and short term you can do that and practice all that you have learned from sociology and all the knowledge that you already gathered. And maybe even, hmm, that's like a private advice, but I'm going to put it on the live stream. Maybe start contacting those UX research podcasters that are having podcasts and are working in a company, and maybe ask them if they can hire contractors or can maybe dedicate you some kind of minimal portions of the work, or I don't know, just maybe start thinking about talking to the right people, somebody that can open a door for you, right? Even if you don't have the 2 years of experience, you can get there. I'm sure. So there's multiple ways. You just have to put a white paper, take the pencil, and start thinking of like dun 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 dun. How do I approach this? I want to get there, and I'm here. What can I do to minimize the distance? Of course, after you relax completely from the burnout. I have to do it as a gig contract for now. I have a day job. I said this year I would not do any volunteer work unpaid, so I must source myself. Okay, I like that. Okay, that's also a plan. So you have to probably search and inspect all the ways you can get that paid work, contract work, and where exactly can you find that. Maybe you can network with people who are doing the same thing and ask them about different outlets and referrals. Like that could be also useful. I know it's hard out there for everybody in the industry, but I recently also started to include in my feedback form referrals. So in the future, anyone that works with me, I would highly and kindly appreciate if you think about at least one or three people that you might think they would match with me and they would need my services, my help, or anything like that. Shameless promotion. I not only do no code development and UX design, but I also have experience in building website templates, consulting, phone consulting, video consulting, UX audits on landing pages, on portfolios now, and I'm building a sales page for strategic business mentoring for upcoming entrepreneurs who are still figuring out lots of their stuff in terms of branding, unique selling proposition, mediums and channels that they can use for their business, how they can monetize their services, what kind of pricing plans they can use, all things that I didn't know and figured out myself. I can help and guide, mentor anybody else who is starting. And I also do the mentoring in terms of web design. If you are starting out as a designer, I currently have a mentee who is also practicing web design on the side and has like small projects in terms of web design in Wix Studio. And I help her figure out the not only Wix Studio as a platform, but also the client process that she wants to establish, the way she designs, and in terms of timeline, resources, all that stuff. So whatever I can help, I do help. Just you have to ask. And if you want a free discovery call, you can find the link in the description, which I think I will add later or in the comments. So make sure to check out the stream when it ends as well. She's a superstar. Yeah, we all are. As long as we are trying and doing our best every day, I think we are all superstars. As long as we try, I think that's the most important part. And like we say in my other podcasts, we are all work in progress. As long as we are moving forward, that's the most important part. And yeah, never give up. That's the motto. But if you decide to give up, that is also fine. You just have to know what's next and what you are going to do instead. For example, if I'm not doing UX UI design and no code development, I would definitely do any kind of teaching or maybe social work, or in general work with people. I would love that. Or have a garden somewhere. Or be a housemaid. I don't know, something that doesn't involve people in technology era. So it really depends on the stage in life that I'm in. But yeah, we shall see what will happen with all that. What there's now so many different versions of AI, a super intelligent AI, and yeah, we will see what happens. And am I scared about AI taking my job? Honestly, no, because I don't have that many clients in the same time to be worried about. I don't outsource, so I'm not working on a huge projects. And I think there always will be work for people who want to work with people, and that human connection and advice will be always appreciated. As you can see, I have two mentees right now, and there is ChatGPT, there is Claude, there is Perplexity AI, but people still choose to ask for advice, and talk their problems with other people and discuss different solutions. So even if I'm not full blown UX designer or a developer, I will always be a consultant of use. So I think I will not be jobless. I hope. But in terms of design, I don't think so as well. There's lots of tools that can help you start and build a good template, framework, or a foundation of a website or an app, but the strategy and the logic and the problem solving is not quite there yet. And the tweaks of different softwares is not so user friendly. So I think for at least 5 years we will be fine, hopefully. And after that, I don't know. We shall see what happens. As I said on one reel, if you can unplug the internet for everyone for 1 year, that would be amazing. So we can all have like a little breather and go back to no internet days and just enjoy life and not feel guilty for not being productive and constantly posting online. But yeah, that's it about the AI. What else I wanted to comment on in terms of the careers? Um, UI, well, that's already replaced in partially when it comes to having all these tools and solutions that are spewing so much visuals already. But what else? No code tools. You still need to know how to tweak code. I think software programmers and developers will be still here, no code developers as well. The tools are not that advanced yet. And also, even though Wix Studio now is targeting their clients and users to be like, you can do it yourself, you can build everything yourself, people don't have the time and they don't have the patience, the knowledge, and the time to do it themselves. So I think there will be always a work for those willing to work. So that's my take on it. Let me check the poll 20 40 40. Okay. What is CMS and why does it cause so much problem with no code platforms? That's a great question. And fully, I don't know the term, like specific term, but I know what it stands for, and I have used it. And I'm planning to use it also on the template. Content management system. It's something that is used with no code tools that, well, no code is already sounding quite easy, right? But some specific actions on a website do require some kind of how to say organization of the information and tweaking and some knowledge of, again, programming in order for you to make the right connections with the right instances. And now I'm talking in all that terminology in terms of development, but let's say you want to have very simple example. I think we can I can find the website and show with the websites because it will be much easier to showcase it with a visual example. What is content management system? Or CMS? Okay, let's see. Let me present my. Okay, so we have this from Flux Academy. This is, I think, their website that they have built. And as you can see here, we have classes, which under classes, we have all classes, and we can see all the different classes that are here. And this is no code, right? This is built in Webflow. There's not the label here on the right. I hope you can see it well. Yes, you can. But this is the content management system that we are talking about, and the connection between multiple collections of information. So they create a system, and the system is the connections. Now I'm going to explain. So we have the classes, which are hot yoga, kundalini yoga, yin yoga, right? And we also have different specifications of the type of yoga. Is it for beginners, intermediate, or whatever? And the correlation between that information of what kind of yoga this studio has as class also comes down to the instructor. So when you click on, let's say, Rona, we will connect Rona or that content instance within the tab only to match the yoga that she can teach, which is beginner hatha yoga. So here comes the confusion that if you cannot build the right profiles for each yoga instructor and the right classes in their structure, here comes the confusion between the connection and the organization of this information. And also in terms of business, do you want the classes to be here, or do you want the instructors to be here, or do you want here to have the types of yoga? Is it only yoga? Is there anything else? Like, what would you choose to present to the user, and how you're going to logically connect it and systemize it? I think that's where the issue is, because there are so many dependencies, and based on what the client and the user wants to be presented, here comes the confusion and the mess. Let me know in the comments if this was good explanation of what that is. I think that's the best way I could explain it for someone who doesn't know what CMS is or no code, and I hope that was answering the question. But if you have any other explanation, please do leave it in the comments. Let's see. Thank you. It has been almost 2 years and I never learned what it was. Oh, okay. I'm so glad that we finally did it then. If you have any more questions, please do let me know. If I know the answer, I will definitely share it with you. And yeah, I have also used that CMS abbreviation without fully understanding what actually it is. But once I started to, again, not only learn about the feature or the opportunity that no code presents, but also use it and try it on my own website and templates, then I realized why is it so hard, why is it so popular, and so on. Now I'm learning about client first and the style organization when it comes to a website, and how useful it can be for other developers and you as a developer when you deliver your website to your client, and how easier it makes also the tweaking process after the handoff. So that's something I'm learning now. And as I said, on social media, I follow very few popular accounts, and those that are um, providing lots of kind of generators for fonts, best color palettes, best tools to use for that, best tools to use for that. I don't follow them because these are, for me, are noise, and I would, if I need anything like that, I will always search for it rather than think about the million tutorials that I have watched and then be like, oh, I need that, I'm gonna use it. So yeah, I just focus on what I need at the moment based on my goals and practice. That's the goal, to practice. For this year, I have to clean my new goals for the Q2 here on the left. This is the right. On the left, I will have to write my new goals for Q2, which will be to have at least two more Webflow paid projects, and practice my client first knowledge on them, and hopefully publish the Webflow template in the marketplace. That would be also amazing. And oh yeah, go to my trip to Naples. And yes, finally record a Wix Studio introduction walkthrough course. I want to make a free course on Wix Studio as a platform, and I want to make it free and probably post it on Udemy or Coursera or anything like that, where I can um, give a taste to the audience of my teaching style. And then, based on the feedback, I will tailor my the way I tutor and showcase the tool, which is UX Studio, and then build a beginner course on how to create, for example, a e-commerce website or a sales page in Wix Studio. And then every single person that is a beginner designer can purchase the course and then create their first sales page by applying not only a easy no code tool as a Wix Studio, but also UX principles, because I will combine the two and will make the course be like a symbiosis of the two. So yeah, that's what I'm planning to. Hopefully this introduction course will be done by September, and the other course maybe January next year or end of this year. I don't know. That's like very hopeful, but depends on how much client work I have. So yeah. Thank you, Ashley. What are your goals for this year or quarter? What are you having, like top three maybe? Or top one? I mean, one goal to have is also a good thing as long as you are like focused. Right, information overload, being a repository without action is paralyzing. Yes, that's what I felt in my first 3 months of learning about UX UI. And I was like, oh my god, I'm wasting so much time. I follow so many people. There's so many tutorials out there. They're doing so much. How they can record this kind of videos and then do the work that they talk about? Is this even achievable? Can I even like reach this kind of level of perfection? Can I even perform on this kind of level? I'm not good enough. Like that's my first thought when I start watching these tutorials. Like this is not maintainable. I don't have these resources. I don't have this background. I don't have this capacity. I don't have this energy. I don't have this mental load to do all these things. And then I realized that this is not for me, and it does, as long as it looks good, but it's not what I want. And so I stopped filling my feed with it, even though the algorithms keep suggesting all this information. Have one client by the end of the third quarter. Okay, great, we're gonna achieve that. So in order to get that one client, we need to think about all these little steps that you can take in order to get that client to say like, hey, I want you to do this research for me. And you have to put yourself out there unapologetically and talk and walk the talk, be the person that you are presenting yourself to be, right? And you will get there. I believe that you have that one client, and we will celebrate it in the next stream. That is going to be also long as this one. But I think for 1 hour we covered quite a lot of things. I'm so happy and thankful for everybody that made it to the stream, and especially to Ashley. She is the best. She shared my stream in one of our Discord communities, Floxies, and I totally forgot to check the Discord because, as I said, I cancel all the noise, including the Discord. I don't open it when I start my Windows, and I just don't log in because it's not loading automatically. And I just work, and then I'm like, oh, today is Wednesday. We have something happening on the Discord. Probably let me check, or another day I'm just randomly thinking about something to ask or check, and then I getting. But yeah, I need to be checking more regularly. But she was so nice to share the live stream with the others, and I hope they check it out later. If you see this later, thank you for coming and watching till the end. And I have had only this banner all this time, and I need to change it to maybe at least this one, because right now I even have to adjust the actual count, because it's not 379, it's 380 subscribers. Thank you so much. This goal for the next quarter is to reach at least 500, and I know with this kind of educational content it's quite hard, but we will try and see what happens. The monetization for YouTube channels on any kind of topic starts from 1000, 1K. So maybe next year that will be something that happens, but I will try to keep the one video a week ongoing. Next tutorial will be on Webflow and how to add a comment section to your Webflow website. Because did you know? You can't. Natively, you cannot add a comment section to your blog. How silly is that, Webflow? You better fix that. You better fix this by the end of 2025, because how I'm supposed to sell to my clients a blog and tell them you need blog for your SEO rankings, but I cannot add a comment section without you having another account on another platform, and so on and so on. So I will do that and explain how you can do it for free for now. Thank you, Beba. Thank you for the celebrating emojis in the chat. And what we can do next for the tutorials is also I can do some tutorials on Wix Studio. And for example, today I got an idea from my mentee to showcase how you can paywall a PDF or downloadable file on Wix Studio, and how you can make it so the user pays certain amount and then gets the PDF as a downloadable. Or even we can make an example with courses, with video courses or other materials. And I'm going to do that in the next couple of tutorials. If you have any kind of suggestion for a tutorial, make sure to leave it anywhere in my DMs, in the comments, in the community tab. I also share lots of information and updates there, so you can even leave your suggestions there. And to my lovely girls, best supporters and fans, Beba and Ashley, thank you so much for attending this live stream. This means so much to me that we can do it in real time. And if I can help in any way, you can reach out and have a free discovery call. If you're a potential client or mentee, if you're just a friend, you can just send me a message and we can hop on, work together, and procrastinate for 15 minutes and then work for 45 like we do. And yeah, that's it from me for now. And see you next week, hopefully with the Webflow and comment section tutorial, which I have to edit. And yes, thank you so much for watching. I hope this presentation was helpful and useful. If you find it so, please share with a friend, with your network, on your LinkedIn, on your Discord, on your Medium, on any social channel that you are and you think this would be worth sharing. Please share. And yeah, thank you so much again, and see you in the next one. Bye bye. Enjoy your Tuesday.